Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video, another PSA. I know you guys probably feel like I'm doing so many PSAs, but I've just been doing a lot of thinking and I've been having just a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas that I want to share with you guys. So, today's PSA is going to be PSA, don't get possessed by society. And really what this video is going to be about is about the way that we learn oppression, and the way that we learn racism and the way that we learn anti-blackness. Um, and the inspiration for this video was I was talking to someone the other day about how we learn racism and how, which I've discussed in some other videos, yes, all white people and, stuff like that. But I was talking about how we learn racism and how learned racism manifests itself as internalized anti-blackness in black people and in racism in white people, and how this anti-blackness is so ingrained that it's knee-jerk, it's automatic, it's something that we don't even think about, like how you don't really think about breathing, it's just something that you do. And literally, this internalized anti-blackness and these certain ideas and these thoughts and these concepts and these stereotypes and this rhetoric is exactly the same. It's knee-jerk, it's automatic, it's something that we do without thinking, just like breathing. And me and my friend were talking and I said, our unconscious biases on race, on sex, on gender, etc. is literally the society speaking through us. Like, we are possessed by this racist, sexist, capitalist, classist society, and it speaks through us. They're not really our words, they're not really our thoughts, it's the society speaking through us. So it's like, PSA, don't get possessed by society, and really think about, why am I saying this? Why am I thinking this? Why am I doing this? Because the indoctrination starts from before we're old enough to realize it, right? From the movies that we watch, to the books that we read, the TV shows, all this stuff is all sending messages, especially on race, that we internalize, and that we internalize to the point where we don't even know where the idea came from, right? Like when you hear a song on, the speakers in the supermarket, and the next thing you know, you're humming the tune and you don't even know how the tune got in your head, right? But it's there and it's automatic, right? What's not automatic is the work to unlearn it. That's the hard part, right? Doing the work to unlearn all this problematic ass shit, right? Because it's so easy. It's easy to breathe automatically. It's easy to breathe automatically, but when you have to think about it, then it becomes hard, then it becomes difficult. And if you don't want to do the work, then you're a part of the problem, right? So the important thing to ask yourself is just always the why. Like I said, why do I feel this way? Why did I think that? Why did I say that? Prime example is when I started buying my toilet paper from Freedom Paper Company, which I did a Black Friday video on, my very first ever Black Friday video. I remember talking to a friend about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I've switched to this company for my toilet paper. It's a Black-owned, business. And she said something like, oh, so it's gonna be like tissue paper thin, something. And I was like, and this is a Black person, and I was like, why would you say that? Why? Because you have to ask yourself the why, right? I was like, why would you say that? And she was like, oh, I don't know, it's just a joke. But it's a racist joke, right? It's a stereotype, like you're saying, because it's Black owned, it's going to be poor quality, right? And it was so knee jerk, it was so automatic, it was just something she said. She didn't even think about it. She even asked herself the why, because internalized bullshit works in mysterious ways, right? You have to stop and think about it, and you have to do the work, and that is the hard part, because it's very easy to fall into this pattern of not thinking critically, of not questioning yourself and your own knee-jerk responses and the responses of others, because you just rely on this familiar ass, narrative that you've internalized from the society. It's literally like a possession where you don't think for yourself. Instead, the society and the internalized bullshit and this unconscious biases and the internalized anti-blackness is it's literally speaking through you. It's literally like a possession. The society is speaking through you. You know, I was having another conversation on a film forum about Black filmmakers, and somebody was like, you know, we need more original films. I'm sick of movies on historical Black figures. I'm sick of films on Black people taking their ass whippings with dignity, like Selma. I'm sick of films about rom-coms. I'm sick of, you know, Black films about this and Black films about that. And I'm starting to think that Black filmmakers just refuse to think outside the box. And like really kind of like spouting and parroting this like white supremacist rhetoric about how Black people just like can't do things, how we're dumb, how we're lazy, we refuse to think outside the box. And I wrote this person back and I was just like, you know, this is like really an unfair comment, and I think you're really not, you know, thinking critically about this, because there are lots of Black filmmakers that are working outside the box, but are their films getting picked up by mainstream, you know, what is the word I want? Production companies. I was going to say producers, but, you know, are the films being picked up by mainstream production companies, by mainstream distributors? You know, Ava DuVernay, for example, had 2 hit movies at Sundance that were original films, Middle of Nowhere and I Will Follow, but what film of hers got picked up for mainstream distribution? Selma, right? The movie that fit a certain narrative. So you have people that instead of looking at, you know, well, what movies are getting picked up from mainstream distribution, what movies are being given all this praise by these white critics because they fit a narrative. Instead of looking at the bigger picture, instead of thinking critically, we just let the society and let these ideas and these concepts kind of speak through us when we say like, oh, Black filmmakers are just lazy, you know? And it's like, no, you're lazy because you're not thinking critically. You're not actually thinking. You're just, again, letting the society possess you and speak through you, and letting that internalized anti-Blackness think for you and speak for you, just because it's so easy to fall back on those narratives, you know, because it's so easy to say Black filmmakers just don't think outside the box, instead of questioning, you know, well, where is the funding and the support for original Black content? You know, you worried about the wrong things. You worry about the wrong things, So yeah, you know, and it's just like, and I want to be clear when I say that I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about like amongst ourselves, right? Like Black people. I'm talking about the conversations that we have amongst ourselves, the way that we speak to each other, the things that we allow to be acceptable in our communities. It's not acceptable to say, I think Black people are ugly, but it is acceptable to a degree to say, do something with that hair. You know, it is acceptable to, you know, to say certain other things because that's what we've learned and that's what we've picked up and that's what we've internalized. Again, it's white supremacist bullshit. It's colonial bullshit. It's the product of a colonized mind. Decolonize that mind. Everything must go, you know, shouts to Ghazi. Like, we have to stop letting the society possess us and speak through us and really start thinking critically and thinking for ourselves instead of having these knee-jerk responses and reactions that are really, really, really closely informed by the society. And this is, you know, and I see this from people that consider themselves even to be woke, you know, even still, because it's like so deeply ingrained inside of us. So it's just like, PSA, don't let the society possess you. Ask yourself the why. Ask yourself the why. Ask people around you the why. You know, it's about more than just white people are racist, you know, because we all know white people are racist at this point. Like, we all know. It's also about speaking to each other about our own, you know, biases and unconscious biases and subconscious biases, and again, our own knee-jerk reactions and our own internalized anti-Blackness. And it's just really something that I've been seeing a lot and that I've been trying to, you know, find a way to talk about and kind of combat it. So hopefully you guys like this video. Let me know what you guys think, of course, in the comments, as always. And yeah, PSA, don't get possessed by the society. Because, like I said, internalized bullshit works in mysterious ways, and you don't want the devil of white racism inside of you, you know? Exercise that demon. Exercise that demonic fucking force. So please don't be in my comments talking about Christianity or anything like that. Like, because that's just, I'm just kidding. Okay, so see you guys next time. Food for thought as always. Peace.